ring. Welcome to the NFL.
You're listening to Sports Talk49 with your host, Blake Anthony, exclusively on NSPN Champa Bay TV.
And here we go.
Get ready to strap yourself in and prepare for a ride on the soul-trained voice of Blake Anthony as he covers and breaks down the ins and outs of your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Rays, Lightning, and every other professional sports team. Because if you don't know, you better ask somebody, and that somebody is Blake Anthony.
Doesn't matter what's happened before today. Today's a brand new day. It's a brand new season.
What's up, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to NSPN Champa Bay TV. I'm your host, Blake Anthony, and this is Sports Talk49. And this man over here that's joining me today, smoking a cigar, I told him I had to join, I had to go get my own, is none other than the personality, Mr. Personality, Stylez White. Stylez, what's up?
Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What about yourself? I see you out there, got the sun beaming, trying to get extra dark. You know, it's light-skinned people. We can't get that much sun, so, you know.
Tell me my beach chair? So yeah. Over the concrete in the streets in a beach chair. That's how you do it. I don't know. Yeah. So what's going on, man? I'm glad to finally get up with you. Catch up with you. You're a busy man, you know.
We all are. I think in this world, everybody got to have one or two hustles, and we all hustling out here. You got the bill. First of the month is always coming up.
You ain't never lie.
So life after football. Before we talk about football, I don't always just like to talk about sports. I like to know about what you guys got going on in your personal life. And I know yourself has started getting yourself on TV a little bit, you know, on the internet and all that stuff like that. And now you're doing articles. Tell us about that, where we can find that and all that.
All right, so I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to write for St. Pete Catalyst about the Bucs each week. It was given to me by one of my good friends, Robert Blackman, who put me in touch with Joe Hamilton, who I believe owns St. Pete Catalyst, and they allowed me a format or a forum to express my thoughts and my words, and from my perspective, not just being an athlete, but you know, a Bucs player and a fan of the Bucs, because the Bucs low key are my NFC favorite team. We ain't get into who's my favorite team in a little bit, but so it's I do that. I just try to just create some different content. I believe I like to create some different content for them, but that's about it. That's what I got going on as far as being on the social media. I mean, I actually work at a cigar lounge. Go figure.
Yeah, no, that one isn't surprising. You got to definitely support the habit somewhere, and especially if they give you discounts and free cigars. That sounds like a win to me.
Sounds like a win to me. Can't beat them. Smoke.
Yep, that sounds like Club W right there. Yeah, but I think that's great. I think that's awesome that you're still keeping up with sports. I think what example I want to use? I want to think of guys like Brett Favre when he wanted to retire and kept coming back. I don't think guys like himself at that time knew what they wanted to do once they got away from football. You're like, damn, this is all I've done for the past 17 years. Get up, study, go to camp, do this, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm at home.
Institutionalized.
Yeah, you're right. You got institutionalized. Get told what time to be at a meeting and look at tape. And
yeah, that's something that I wasn't a fan of, believe it or not. But Brett Favre is iconic, right? So there's only a few people, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, if you wanted to. Tom Brady has done it. Want to come back, they can when they wanted to. So that's a whole nother level of stardom that I have yet to reach.
Man, your stories in itself. I mean, all those you played with multiple teams. I said you were MVP of the Arena Football League. I think you played with the Virginia Destroyers too as well, and won a championship. I'm not sure if you played with one of my former teammates and Marcus Morrell. I'm not sure if you did or not. I asked you that earlier. Marcus Morrell played at Appalachian State. Played with the Eagles for a while and the Patriots, but. We'll talk about that later. I just thought about it because I think Marcus had played with him once he got out of the league as well. But your story, I mean, even I think you worked at Best Buy at one time too. In your story itself, I think is cool because it's not always the same. What do you want to talk about? The same mainstream story. Oh, black dude comes out the projects, gets a scholarship, makes it pros, buys his mama a house. You know, like the same story. Yours was different. That's why I don't know. I've always been look towards your story because it was different.
Hey, I tell you this. I learned this now, and I wish I would have known this when I was younger. And I seen a quote that said, "You're not a product of your environment. You're a product of your choices." Absolutely. And that is what really singed a lot for me. I did what I needed to do, and I did what every responsible person, a person with kids, mother, father, like I did what I needed to do. So that was me play football, do something I love, and then afternoon go and work till 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to do it. And so I mean, everybody got a story to tell. Mine's not better than, it's different than, if that makes sense. If I communicate that way, it's just different than. And the process that I've been through, it actually sucked because, believe it or not, it sucked. But, and I told the story before, when I finally made, I came out in 2002, got drafted by the Houston Texans. I came out and got cut. You know, I got drafted, Texas, then I got cut. And there was one point in my life when I got cut in 2007. I didn't tell my mother. I told my pops, I didn't tell my mother. The girl I was dating, we talked, but I didn't tell her, and I just left Dallas. I went to Minnesota, went back to Jersey, Minnesota, whatever. And the reason why is because psychologically, I never was not good enough to be on the team. Does that make sense? I'm playing football since 94, right? So 94, 2002, and when I got drafted in 2003, and they cut me, I was like, I've never not been. Everything I've done, I played football, I did baseball, I wrestled in high school. Like, I was good. I was always a star or second to the star. I was a star in any, but even when I think I had like 4 or 5 sacks for the preseason. Right, I had 4 sacks in one game. I was killing them. Like, that's what I do. And they cut me, and I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed to tell my mother. You know, I think I talked to my father later on. Father was stepfather, and he goes, "Why don't you call her and tell her?" I was like, "Nah," because she's never not used to me not being good enough, right? So I was like, I didn't tell her, but my girlfriend at the time, she cursed me out by like 6 months later because she called, and it was like, it was weird. Like, she cared, and it sucked. And I remember having this conversation with my mom, and I was like, "Well, I gotta tell you something." She was like, "What's up, babe?" It was like, she was like, "Just say it. Like, what's on your mind?" Now, I knew she knew because she talked to my father, right? I assumed she knew. And I said, I told her not to tell him, but she was like, I was like, "So I didn't make the team." And she was like, "You didn't make what team?" She's like, "I was with the Texans." She don't remember what team. You know what I mean? So I was like, "I didn't make the team." And she was like, this is what she said, swear to God, verbatim. She said, "Fuck him. Let's go to another team." This swear to God. So she said, like, the most beautiful, eloquently ever stated. Like, it was the most phenomenal. Like, that's all I needed to hear. Fuck him. And ever since then, I've been off and on different teams, and I was like, fuck him. On to the next. Fuck him. On to the next. Sorry, I don't know if I can curse, but.
Oh, you can curse?
Yeah. But, and that was the most, and my mom has no idea how that changed my view of life. You know what I mean? Because she never went to none of my football games. She never went to my high school games, college games, or NFL games and stuff, even later on. But that helped out a lot. But But let's fast forward. So 5 years, 2007, I finally make a team. And you always get the phone call or the message or the doomsday, what do they call it, where they bring you in, tell you you're released.
No, hey, like you see on television where they say your day's your day and they pull you in the room or whatever.
Yeah, right. Okay. They always tell you no. But when I made the team, nobody said nothing. I still wasn't sure I made the team.
Wow.
And when I made the team, it was the week because I think it was like you could pass cut day. You got to have your team down by a regular roster. Well, at that point in time, you still could cut people. So even if somebody was you had to be down your 53-man roster by 5 o'clock on Monday or Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you made it, like you get cut. So it's like at any point, like you can get cut, but to make the team, you're pretty much safe, right? So I come to work, and one of the other rookies who got drafted, well, I wasn't a rookie then, but he was a rookie, and a new guy. He's like, "Yo, you made it." So I did. He's like, "Yeah, you did." I was like, "Yeah, nobody said anything different." He's like, "What did they call you and tell you weren't?" I was like, "No." He said, "Well, then you made it." And that was the most, like, it wasn't even like a party. It's like as much as I got cut and got told to, it was like an event. But when I made the team, it was the most unsatisfying feeling that you have for making a 53-man roster.
Right.
Because you've been cut so much. It's just like, okay, I made it. All right, let's go to work. And it wasn't until, like, so I don't know if you knew this. I'm sorry, but I can continue if you want me to.
No,
did you know, for a fact, that I declined to go to the NFL?
All right. You got to elaborate on this.
So I was in Arena. I was killing Arena. Arena felt like I'm a sentimental guy. I'm not emotional. I'm not sensitive. Sentimental. I'm emotional. You know what I mean? And I was playing with the
Predators.
Yeah, playing with the ring football. And they showed me mad love. The people who knew back then my name was Greg, right? So they knew Greg White, and they loved Greg White. And they paid me like they love me, and they showed, and it wasn't like, relatively speaking, for Arena, right? And I was probably making back then like $90,000, right, for 6 months or so. So I was on posters. I was loved. I felt loved. I felt appreciated. Prior to that, I was getting cut by teams. I was just a number. I was just a cat body. That's how I felt. That's how I was. Now, when my agent called me, and I talked to Monty Kiffin. I love Monty Kiffin. I think I talked to Bruce Allen at the time. I may or may not have talked to Gruden. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, you was with his brother in Orlando, correct?
Yeah. Yes. So his brother knew. I talked to John. I mean Jay Gruden, not John. And they were like, "Hey, maybe you want to take this opportunity, yada yada." And I was like, "No." I was like, "I like it here." And then Kiff called me. He was like, "Why would you stay there?" I was like, "Because I've never asked y'all to make a team. All these teams I've been to, and this is my second go around with the Bucks.
Second stint.
Yeah. So I was like, I've never asked y'all to make a team. What I asked was for opportunity.
Fair shot.
I felt like I wasn't getting that, so I didn't want to risk the time, my body. If I'm doing extremely well, I just kept on defensive player of the year, offensive player of the year. I was killing it in the arena. And I think about it. I think about it. Let them know. They didn't offer me a huge contract to go. What Kiff did say was, I would definitely give you an opportunity. He said, you will have an opportunity. And I was like, all right, cool, blah, blah, blah. And I still was on the fence. At the time, I was still relatively young speaking. I was 27, but I didn't know who Monty Kiffin was, like the architect of the Tampa team. I didn't know Bruce Allen. Like, people calling me a Marina. Who does that? My agent said, look, if you don't want to go, don't go. He goes, because it's just a waste of your time.
Mm.
He said, but if you choose not to go, what about if you look back 5 years from now and say, what if? And I was like,
to me, that's scarier. What if?
So I went. I ended up making the team, and it was.
The rest is history, baby.
Right. It was great. It just wasn't. It was kind of cool because I came in, I made a little noise, and I went out. I came in, I didn't make any noise. Nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew who I was or what I did or didn't care. And at the time, prior to that, my name was Greg White, and I changed my name to Stylez White. And it was funny because I never wanted to be so much known for being a football player. I always wanted. Let me tell you how, I guess, narcissistic I am, if you will. I never wanted you to say Tampa Bay Buccaneers player Greg White or Stylez White, Stylez White. I always want you to say Greg White or Stylez White, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers football player. That's what meant a lot to me because who I am is more important than what I am.
Correct.
That makes sense. So for me, it meant a lot. Other people are like, what does it matter? Who comes first? It was like, I want to come first. I'm the one putting in the time. I'm the one putting in the effort. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be a team player. I'm trying to put me in harm's way to win a championship, to help a teammate make him look good. I want to do it all. I want to make sure you know that I did this for the team, right? Like I wanted that. That was important to me. I needed to know that you knew who I was and how I contributed to the team. Not who I am because I'm the man, but who I am that selflessly gave to the team. So that was a big deal to me. So, I guess like you said, the rest was history.
And I totally get it. And it's the part that I love doing what I do. Granted, I did not get to play on the level. I went to collegiate, and that's about as far as I went. That's it. But then I tell people they don't understand when players want money or they feel a certain sort of way about the way you give up your body for that. And I was a very reckless player. My neck is still messed up from that. But, it's you give yourself up. Now that you get older, you feel aches and bruises as you get older. Some people more than others. Some people not at all. Like John Lynch says, he doesn't feel any of it. I don't know. That man's just a machine. But and I told you. Go ahead.
It probably helps that John Lynch has everything at his fingertips in order for his body to maintain a certain type of painless experience, if that makes sense. If he
has the assets.
Yes, because if he's sore, he has no problems deciding if he wants a massage 2 or 3 days a week, chiropractor.
Should we mention massages? We're talking about the Browns.
Wow, is that what we're doing? That was last year. This week we got there. This is football. Shut up. So I'm just saying, he probably has the best opportunities. He probably has a nutritionist. He probably has somebody that helps him. Like, you understand where I'm coming from? Mm-hmm. Probably. I know I would. I know at 43 years old, I would love to have a personal massage therapist. I would love to have a nutritionist or someone in that lets me know what the right things to eat, how to eat, but you got to pay for that type of service. So if he's not feeling anything, because he was a smacker, like John Lynch was,
headbanger,
was a smacker. So I know he was physical as hell. But just to know that he has those options or assets, as you say, life's a little easier.
No, definitely, and definitely he's a GM now, so you got it right there at the facility. Hey, you know what? My leg's feeling tight. I'm gonna go on downstairs.
Like for instance, right now, if I had the money, we would probably be having an interview, and you'll see my background being a cigar lounge that I have, my little Estilo lounge in my house where I go smoke cigars and do radio, blah blah blah. I'll probably be in the recording studio if need be. You understand where I'm coming from?
And I was going to say, I'm going to speak something into existence. Probably I promise you, we're going to do this another time, and you will have that back there. You will have your cigar lounge back there, and we'll have a good time. We'll both probably have a little cigar in a hand, and we'll both be talking football.
I get you good.
We're going to speak it into existence.
Yeah, all right. I'm with it. I'm definitely with it. So let's get back to the Browns smacking on Bucks. How did you feel about
So let's talk about that's a cliche because a lot of people. We'll just put it out there. I put names out there, Stylez. That's how we do it. People like Westlife Media and stuff like that. Those guys like to give you a hard time because they feel like you play for the Bucks and your only loyalty, you should only bleed red. Theoretically speaking, pewter. Yeah, there you go, pewter. And you like the Browns. What is that a cliche, or should people allow you to have a life outside of football?
I think it varies. To be fair, I think it varies. Derek Brooks, Ronnie Barber, Mike Allstott. These guys are like Buccaneers. They are the centerpieces. They are the legends, right? They are the icons. They're the ones that allow, the Bucks, they became stars. They are great players. And to them, maybe Brooks went to Florida State, right? So he probably always was a Bucks fan, right? So that makes sense. But I just think, as a job, as a career, and everybody has jobs, and we all know our jobs are. If you're doing well, you stay. And if you don't, they fire you. You go, right? If I'm an athlete and I know that I'm playing up to a level of that my play level and my money level doesn't match, then I'm gonna go where that matches, right? That just makes sense. That's what it is. People take it so personal, like it's business. Oh, well, the Bucks gave you an opportunity. Bucks gave me an opportunity, and I'm very excited and very humble for the opportunity.
You put yourself in that situation.
I had to bust my ass. Yes, I did. And like I said, the Bucks gave me a great opportunity to do it. But and I appreciate them for that. And I'll be forever thankful. Personally, I like the Browns. I like the Cleveland Browns. What do you want me to do? Have I always liked the Cleveland Browns? No. But have I always liked the Bucks? No. So I was a fair weather fan for a long time. I was one of those guys or kids that was good at the time. I want to be a winner. Who doesn't want to be a winner? Who doesn't want to be a winner? So
I think a lot of people like that with NBA. I think a lot of people sway in the wind with NBA. I think that happens more with the NBA than NFL. I think there's more loyal fans in the NFL than the NBA. But yeah, I definitely get that. People want to be a part of it. They don't want to be in misery and have to be with that. And for a long time, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were in misery up until recent years with the addition of Tom Brady.
Yes, with the addition of Tom Brady, not because of Tom Brady. And a lot of people don't understand that. With the addition of Tom Brady, and you also got to remember that Tom Brady came in the same right after Jameis Winston had 30 for 30. I thought he was doing the ESPN because he did the 30 for 30, like a 30 for 30. But anyways,
me and Mike Clayton, we talk about that all the time. We're talking about that all the time. Mike Clayton, Mike. I'm sure you know Mike. Mike Clayton believed that Winston should have gotten paid because me and him talked about a lot of it. He even did a tape breakdown of all the interceptions weren't Jameis because Tampa Bay media can be quite ruthless sometimes because they don't exactly portray to a fan, not knowing fan of what's football, like what happens on things versus those that do know and in a dark light just stayed on Jameis Winston regardless if he was wrong or right.
I think the problem is out of those 30 interceptions, 20 of them probably was on him. So that's where, it wasn't like he, every now and then you get a deflection, it's not his fault. Like, I agree. But to be fair, Tom Brady is a significant upgrade to Jameis Winston. So, it is what it is. But if you remember, if you go look at the two games, the Green Bay game where Brady had 2 interceptions,
playoff
that, and then he went to the Kansas City and they won. But you also remember, if people want to go, I'm a defensive guy. Go look at the defense. Defense held Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers looked pedestrian when he played against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense that year. And then Kansas City will put up, I don't even know how many points, but they did not look like the Kansas City that put up 1,000 points for the year and put up like 10 for the Super Bowl.
3 exactly.
Brady, how much was it?
They didn't score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Right. So, last I checked, Tom Brady doesn't play defense.
That part.
So, and didn't they score defense? I believe, or did they not?
Devin White ended the game with the pick over Travis.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. So, Don't get me wrong. Tom Brady is a phenomenal football player. Athlete is debatable.
That's different. Yeah, you're right. You said it right.
He's a phenomenal football player. He's one of the greatest of all time. I'm 43. I'm still a Joe Montana fan. I still feel like Joe Montana is the greatest of all time. But anyways, that's off the subject. I just want to give you my 2 cents. My 2 cents is for free. So there you go.
And I appreciate that, sir.
Well, what else? What else you got for me? So, Bucks play the Browns this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts, I thought of course you got Jacoby Brissett, a guy I watched coming out of ACC, out of NC State. Everybody knows I'm a Tar Heel fan. So I always like Jacoby coming out, watching him at NC State. I think his game has been the same since they're coming in there. I think he's got some rough breaks going from the Colts, how that all fell apart. First the Patriots and the Colts. Now down there in Cleveland, getting a shot with the suspension of Deshaun Watson. But they're going to run the ball. I think the Bucs need to make them one-dimensional, forcing Jacoby to have to drop back 30 times. Todd Bowles wants to play into that plan to stop the run. That's his game, always his game plan. But it's going to be kind of hard to do with those two-headed monsters back there called Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Now, last year I did interview here with Dearness Johnson after he got FedEx Ground Player of the Year. Dearness, if you see this, you still owe me that fishing trip because he was down here catching mahi-mahi before he got on with the league for a minute. And I didn't know he was first cousins with Edgerrin James too. Don't know if you knew that or not.
I had no idea. First cousins with Edgerrin James is a phenomenal athlete and a running back. He's phenomenal. Yeah, they So I'm a little torn because I do want to see the Bucs win. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Anything can happen. Anything could happen.
However, Jacoby Brissett, quarterback QBR is number 1, number 2, and efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe the Bucs defense. The Bucs offense, I think, averages 18 points a game.
Mm-hmm. Way over the normal average.
The Browns average 24 points a game. Your Bucs running game. Shall I say lack of running game? Where I think the Browns in the top 5.
And they got monstrous old linemen. They got good old line.
Now, to be fair to the offense of the Bucs, they got Tom Brady, you got Mike Evans, you got Ghosted, not Ghosted. Godwin. Sorry, Godwin, and Cleveland defense sucks.
What? They got Myles Garrett back there.
No. As a whole.
Oh, okay.
Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward.
They put Grant Delpit. They got out of LSU. Greedy Williams.
Yeah. So listen, pound for pound, can I think that they can handle the Browns' offense? Yes. Do I think they're going to? No. They got too many mental errors. I watched the game as a not just as a fan, but I study film, right? So it's not just they got the talent to be way better than 3-7. The defense has put it together. Now, the Bucs defense is playing lights out in the last 2-3 weeks.
Yep.
And I feel like it's almost a shame that they had a bye week because the first week they beat the Rams and they hold Rams to 15 points, 13 points. Mm-hmm. Then they had the Seahawks and they just did what they wanted with the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. And then they had the bye week and I was like, they on the roll.
It was rolling and now we stopped.
I'm like, now y'all got to get back to it again. That's the part that sucks. That's the part that I'm like, really? Like, and my last article, you didn't read it, but my last article, I think I said something to the effect of, it sucks that they're just finding the stride. They're running the ball more. the Bucs are.
You should say successfully.
Dude, they run the ball like 15 times a game. 15 times a game. 12, 15 times a game. You do the ball, you got a 45-year-old throwing 45 passes a game.
Shouldn't be happening.
Look, this is how I feel about Tom Brady. You got the greatest quarterback in the world playing for your team. And you want him to be the greatest quarterback for 4 quarters for 18 weeks. That's not fair to Tom Brady.
Plus playoffs.
Yeah, and that's not fair to Tom Brady. You play your game, run the ball, play defense, and then when it's time, go ahead and stick Tom Brady on. You know you're gonna win then. Yeah. But give yourself a chance and run the ball. Give yourself a chance and stop trying to pad this man's stats. It's like just let this man be great.
Yep.
He literally has nothing to bring.
Nope.
It's not left. Comebacks, championships, Pro Bowls, All Pro.
What's it, $100,000 in yards now?
What does he have to prove? He should be enjoying his life. He should play another 3 years and worry about running the ball, hand the ball off, and when they need him to throw. But I mean, I thought they were starting to figure out the formula the last 2 weeks. They kept that game against the Rams close enough for Tom Brady to beat Tom Brady.
For the last second win, yep.
You had Tom Brady, he threw an interception the last game. What pissed me off is that he knew that he fucked up. He knew that he didn't make the right read. He knew he was just like, you don't have to have him do that anymore. Mm-hmm. Just play the game. Just play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And have Tom Brady be your bell cow when you need him. But you're letting this man. They gave Rashad White the ball more. Big difference. I said it. I remember when since they played the Browns. Gosh, I can't remember that boy's name, but it was a running back that was starting running back before Nick Chubb. And every time Nick Chubb got the ball, Nick Chubb went for about 30. But every time you get the ball to us, he went for like 5 or 6 yards. Mm-hmm. And finally, when they fired Ty Hurley, I believe it was, they started running the ball more. And then you saw giving Nick Chubb the ball.
But they started picking up linemen too. They started investing in that line. They went and got Conklin. They went and got Wills out of Alabama. What's the guard's name? Bill Batilio. What's his name?
Batilio. I don't know. Joe B.
Joe B. Yeah, there we go with that.
Yeah. So I mean, I honestly think it's going to be. I think that if the defense plays, if the defense play like the Bucs defense play like they've been playing, and they run the ball with the wide receivers they have, they should like dominate the Browns, in my personal opinion. And then that happens, and if the Browns play half as good as they play with the athletes they have, and the offense runs the ball, then I think if it's a close game, the Browns are going to win. Just because of the manpower they got. Like, don't get me wrong, Devin White and what's the other boy name? Levante David. The boys are monsters. Levante David is a monster. Devin White started to come on the last 2 weeks. And
Levante doesn't get enough credit. He's been doing this for a long time. He flies under the radar for a lot of folks.
Devontae is a smart football player, and Devontae is a consistent, reliable player. And I think that's what makes him is going to make him play for a long time, because he's consistent, he's reliable, you trust him, you know where he's going to be, and he makes plays. He does. But in that defense, that position is set up for Devin White. Honestly, where he can go and kind of do what his thing, but if Devin White doesn't produce these splash plays,
they're in trouble.
Won't be around him. But Devontae is always going to be the mainstay. Mm-hmm. I feel like, but yeah, I don't think he gets enough credit. I think he should be way better. I think he is way better than what people give him credit for, because he keeps the defense on the same page. Him and my boy my alum from Minnesota.
No, Winfield. Yeah. They missed him a lot with the concussion protocol.
We went to the same college. We went to the same college. So.
Oh, I know. You got a lot of your Golden Gophers are.
We're making that. I mean, we got that wide receiver Bateman, but he got hurt. Anyways, that's a whole other story. Point being is, I think personally, Levante David and Levante David and Winfield are your two mainstays, your main pieces.
Because of the levels of the defense, I got you.
Levante, let me tell you how comfortable everybody is with Levante. Levante is the type that he does everything so good and it's so common, he don't look at it as being a big deal until he's not there, until he gets hurt, knock on wood, or until he's not manning the middle like he's supposed to. Somebody else, you're gonna be like, "There's a big drop off. Something's wrong," right? Because that's how important he is. He keeps everything humming, and Winfield keeps everything, the DBs, everything together. And that's where people don't understand. Like, they're so used to Levante David being where he's supposed to be, what he's doing. It's almost automatic, right? Where Devin White makes plays, yes. So does Devontae Adams, but it looks bigger. But consistently, like Devin White has splash plays that makes him look great. Right? Fair? So you look at Devin, you're like, Devin White, you're like, yo, you're not making plays like you used to. But if you go look at Levante, he's consistent, making plays, does what he needs to do, stops the run. And the moment that it's one of those, like, you won't miss him until he's gone. Yep. That's how people don't understand that yet. And then see what I'm talking about when he's not there no more, or somebody else want to pay him more money. I hope he leaves. If he does leave, I hope it's for not
contender.
I hope it's because he's making more money somewhere else, not because he's injured.
Well, I don't know if you know. I talk to his agent a lot. Ron Butler is on here a lot. We talk a lot with Levante. He's also represents Denzel Perryman, who went to a Pro Bowl last year out there in Vegas. And you're absolutely right. He does these things, little things right all the time. You come to expect it. And me and Ron talked about last year when he was dealing with that, I think it was his foot injury. He can't get off as fast. So you saw the play drop off a little bit. And I think even Levante mentioned that he hadn't had to play with that kind of injury coming near the end of last year, playing into the playoffs against the Rams. So it was something that he had to recover from coming into this year. And I think you hit everything right on the head. He is a free agent after this year. Will they re-sign him? What's that number going to look like? Devin's numbers coming. Devin's contract's coming up. Do they want to just make Devin the face of it? Because I think everything you say is 100%, and I like it because you're speaking as a player, a guy that's played the game and understand the lingo of how football works. That guy there that doesn't make those splash plays that the fans love. That's what they look at, the fans love. But you're forgetting the guy that's carrying the lunch pail every day and putting in that work, piecing that defense together, making sure guys are in their gap assignments and holding them accountable for what their job is. And that guy is Levante David. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. He is the captain of that defense, and not far behind him is Antoine Winfield.
So we'll see how it goes, but I'm excited to write. I'm excited to write this article. I'll tell you like this: the Bucks better not lose because I'm gonna give it to you. I think that
you closer to the camera. You listen.
Because you know, better not lose. So here's how I figure though. So the funny thing is going to be, I got the haters. They say when you're being great, hating is a part of it. So I got haters, right? And if we win, if the Bucks win, I say we with the Bucks because I'm a fan. But nonetheless, if the Bucks win, I think a lot of people are gonna go to the St. Pete Catalyst and search my name and look at the article. If we lose, if the Bucks lose, they're not gonna read it. They ain't gonna want to hear it. Yeah, they ain't gonna want it. They ain't gonna want to see the truth. Come and give them the truth.
You don't want to lie for him. You don't want to give them the pretty lie, or you want to give them the ugly truth.
I'm gonna give them the truth, that they can decide if it's ugly or not. You know what I mean? Like I'll be honest with you. I think that at the end of the day, if the Bucks win, I'm happy for the Bucks, like 100%. If the Bucks lose, though, it's gonna be either way. I feel like it's gonna be bittersweet. It'll be more bittersweet if the Browns win and the Bucks lose. It's like I kind of want the team to win, or I think it'd be bittersweet either way because I'm like, the Bucks win is good for y'all, but I wanted the Browns to win. We got Deshaun coming back, so then we can probably go undefeated at that.
Hey, I mean, like I said, I like covering the Bucks. I like talking about the Bucks.
Me too. I really do.
But I'm a all around NFL fan. I've always low key always root for the Browns because it seems like they always start going in the right direction. Then something crazy happens or something silly happens and a setback happens. I'm like, damn, you guys started getting all these right pieces. You started piecing all these guys like Denzel Ward. I didn't think at first it was a hit. It was a hit. Now you picked up Myles Garrett. You're getting these guys at different stars at different levels. You still kind of find where your safety guy is, who it is. Like I said, they're going to see how Grant Delpit, develops in this league. But they're
Greg Newsome. I think it's Greg Newsome.
Yeah, Newsome.
He's awesome.
They're making strides forward in the right direction, and I always believe you got to invest in your trenches, O-line and D-line, and if you do that, a lot of that, everything else kind of falls into place. That's just my belief.
So we got something called when anything goes wrong, we call it the Browns way. Right? Like it sucks. So the Browns just being the Browns. That's a Brown thing to do, is what they say.
Like Herm says, same old Jets.
Really? You just got Deshaun Watson. He got 30 cases of sexual assault, and the Browns just being the Browns. You got. I'll tell you this, and I'll be honest with you.
You wasn't out there hanging out with him, was you?
Who, me? No. But if nobody cared, I had 30 cases. So I got 230 million. So they're like, whatever. They probably understand it from my perspective.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
But it's just crazy, man, because I feel like the Browns is going to. The Bucks is going to. I feel like they're going to do well. And luckily for them, their division is not that great. So if they continue playing at the level they've been playing the last 2 weeks, I feel like they're going to win a lot more games than they lose. A lot more. Like, what is it, 7 games left?
Yep.
Something like that. 7 games. They probably lose maybe 1 or 2 games, maybe. And then if one of them is the Browns, so be it.
What'd you say? They better not lose. St. Pete Cowboys. They better not lose.
One of those losses come with the Browns. But I do think this could be a good matchup. But if you look at the category of the Bucks, if you look at the categories like team stats or where they at ranked, I believe the only thing that's low is Jacoby against Tom Brady, and that's not by much. I think Tom Brady got like 2,900 yards.
They're on the ball a lot more than him too.
Yeah, and Jacoby has like 2,800 yards.
And that's
what Amari Cooper. You know what I mean? So, like pound for pound, it's gonna be a good matchup. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout, but if it's gonna be a blowout, I definitely think it's gonna be the Bucks way. If I'm gonna be completely
fair,
it would be the Bucks way because they just got the weapons offensively. They got the weapons to do it.
Do you think Ward matches up? Do you think Ward's going to match up well against Evans?
Yeah, but you still got what's that boy name? I can't. The other wide receivers were Godwin. Mm-hmm. But Godwin's still
coming back healthy.
I mean, you got to pick your poison. You got to pick your poison, and you got to figure out who you want to beat you if the game was on the line. Between us. So that's what makes them so tough. Where the Browns got Amari Cooper, you shut him down.
There's not much else.
Yeah, and
I'm not sure what you're gonna do with Njoku.
He gotta stay healthy. So that'll be he has to stay healthy. So I mean,
people just made splash plays with nothing really, but
I just believe that if it's close, the Browns
way. Dog pound.
I should have worn my Browns shirt just to piss people off. I do my market, so know marketing, so I had to brag differently.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, like
but if we do an interview next week after the game, I might come back on this week.
We can do that.
I might have the Browns fully geared out and just a dog sitting behind me right here, something like that. Just to piss people off. You'll probably lose followers. Don't do that.
Oh man, whatever. Hey, I gotta be fair. We talking sports. Hey, it is what it is. If they take the L, they take the L. I can't only show up when they win. I gotta show up when they lose too.
It'll be good for them. If I think also as far as division and stuff goes, as far as numbers goes, if the Bucks do lose or the Browns do lose, it's not because they still got the division in front of them. They got to play like 4 more games in the division. The Bucks still can win out and go to the playoffs. Yep. So it's not. It's huge. It's huge, but then I'm gonna tell you why. Because let's say that the Falcons, the Saints, Atlanta. Okay, let's say that Atlanta on the Saints. You know, North Carolina's out. But let's say that somehow they end up with the same record. Now it's who win more games. Who win more games in the conference? Who win more games? Period. So as a tiebreaker, you want to win as many games. So all of them really count, right? Honestly, but so you have some saving grace, but the Bucks want to win this game for the sake of me writing this article, though.
Winning the division and you writing this article, so they definitely don't want that, and I think they're more scared of the second one.
Here's the best part about the Browns winning. I mean, not the Browns. The best part about the Bucks winning, when the Bucks win, they have. When I write articles, it's not a long article. They did everything they needed to do. Mm-hmm. They played defense, special teams played well, offense came to play, running the ball, yada yada. It's great. If the Bucks lose, then I gotta try to do my best to explain the whys to you.
Right.
So then and unfortunately, a lot of wordplay and stuff like that. It's just, hey, you're not running the ball more. Hey, you should have better control over the clock. Hey, you did. You know what I mean? Because some people don't understand the game within the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when it's losing, I go in the game within the game. I've been told by some people, they was like, yo, I never Tron Shikovich, number 9. I don't know how to say his name.
Joe Tryon.
Yeah, Tryon. I read an article about him. People was like, I didn't even know anything about him. And the funny thing is, I didn't know anything about him until I went on to a radio show podcast, and somebody said, yeah, John, Joey, what's Joe? Joe, yeah. Joe Javinsky. I was like, who? And I told him, like, you watching the Bucks? I was like, yeah, but I never seen him make any. Like, I didn't know who he was. So then I had to research and do an article on him. People was like, I had no idea that he was a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, missed his whole last year due to COVID. So yeah, and so technically last year was the first year of him playing. Within the year before that, so it's kind of like his last year of college, technically rookie year, and then this year he coming into his first year. So
right. So yeah. It's like he's not. I could go on about him because that DNs I look at, without
DN bias.
Without any type of caution, I'm at him, and I'm tough on him. And as a first-round draft pick, people were tough on me, and I wasn't even a draft pick for the Bucks. I was like a quote-unquote walk-on, if you will. 7 years later, I was a nobody, right? And I had a lot of pressure. As a first-round draft pick, he has to perform. Like Gaines Adams had to perform. 4th pick in the draft, you got to perform.
God rest his soul.
Yes, rest in peace. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like you came in, like you said, there's no expectations. Then when you set your own expectations. When you came out, like, oh damn, Stylez White is doing his thing. So now you know.
Let me get something thought-provoking. When I came to the Bucks, every practice, every game, everything I did, I had to prove why I belonged there, right? As a first-round draft pick, you do the exact opposite. You got to prove
you belong.
No. Well, I got to prove that I belong. Mm-hmm. But as a first-round draft pick, you get chances after chances. You got to prove that you're bad when you're first-round draft.
Okay.
they'll give you every opportunity to be good. Think about it, right? So in the 4 years, they lock you in for guarantee the 4 years, right? They get a guaranteed contract for 4 years. You got 4 years to prove that you bad, right? Because you're first round draft pick. As a free agent, I got every game to prove that I'm good. Think about that. My mindset is totally different than your mindset.
True.
Because I got to prove every day that I'm good. Every day that I belong here. Where if, a first round draft pick doesn't do good his first year, well, you'll wait till his second year. You'll wait till his third year. You'll wait till his fourth year. Then you have the options in the fifth year. If you really think that he came on his last year, you got option for the fifth year, right? Well, what am I as a free agent? None of my contract is guaranteed. So you can let me go game 6, week number 6. So I got like 6 weeks to prove that I'm good, and I didn't. Now I'm cut. In 6 weeks, if he's bad, they still got to play him. Or they still play him, or they trade him, and then somebody else give him another chance.
Yeah.
See where I'm coming from? So your mindset is different. People don't understand that. Like, when you're unrestricted, or you're a unrestricted free agent or something, you got to prove that you're good if you haven't proven it already, right?
Yep.
Like the boy from Denver Broncos, Wilson.
Oh, yeah, Wilson's struggling right now.
Russell Wilson's struggling. If that was any other quarterback, they would have benched him.
Oh God, he'd have been on the bus out of there.
Everybody knows that. But they gave him, he's like a first round, all that money they gave him, they gotta see
Gotta play him.
Well, they trade him and anybody taking it out, so they gotta see him through. And that's the suck part about being a free agent, trying to make a team, and now it's not about me being better than this person. This minimum paying guy is better than this high P caliber guy with the prestige, but he's outplaying him. But he's where you paying all the money to, so you got to make sure he's taken care of. With this guy, still got to constantly work, and gets this much paid. Now you're like a free agent, like I want to get paid here. Like compared to what he making, what I'm making, how many plays I make compared to his plays, I should be making his money, or at least half.
Just like you said earlier, the pay's got to match the play.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope. I first of all, I don't want to see anybody do bad, so I sort of preface that. So I want him to do well, but I gave something that I liked about Devin White. Devin White played like trash, like absolute trash, the last 2 games. It was embarrassing. But that man came back, not the last 2 games, the 2 games before that. And the Rams game
came. The one where Sapp got on him.
Yeah. So, not just Sapp, everybody got on him. But those last 2 games, mentally tough. He went out there and played his ass off. Right? And that's what separates a lot of people. That man could have just blamed everybody else. So you saw what Zach Wilson did.
Oh, yeah, that. We didn't even get into that.
Yeah, you saw Zach Wilson. I'm like, yo, it ain't my fault. I'm like, what do you mean it ain't your fault?
He said, I'm good.
Even if it ain't your fault, it's your fault. Which you the quarterback, got to do your best. Anyways, Devin White didn't take that approach. Devin White kept it. He didn't say much from what I understood. What he didn't do was make excuses. He didn't make excuses. He went out there and he started playing at the level we expected him to play, and he did. Came back with a chip on his shoulder, and he balled out.
Yep, sack, strip, key fumble he calls on the sack. And I think that comes from, here, I'm going to say it again, I'm not biased, but I'm going to say that's where it comes in, having Levante David in your ear. Because there's no point of going out here telling people you're going to play. Just go out there and show these motherfuckers what you're all about. Just show them. Don't tell them, just go do it.
In the last 2 weeks, he has been playing at an all-pro level, and that's what separates him from a lot of football players, offense or defense. Because when it's time for him to make plays, he made them. And the plays that he didn't, he came close to making.
Right.
So,
yeah, if he just stays like that, like I said, I don't know how much of that played in, his dad passing and all of that, and he played that amazing game after his dad passed down in Louisiana, and it's just a lot of questions of why this team was struggling so early. Was it Brady's divorce? Was it Arians breaking up with the team? Was it this? Was it that? There's just so much. I don't know how much you know about any of that.
I encourage you, like I said, to read my articles at St. Pete Catalyst. That's my plug, and I want you to know that I address it was like people with Tom Brady just played bad. Tom Brady doesn't let outside stuff focus. He don't let outside stuff fuck with him. He's human. Tom Brady's done this for like 20 years. This is second nature now. The newest thing is his marriage, not football. You see where I'm coming from?
Yep.
So, but nobody don't want to say Tom Brady played back because that's a taboo. You can't say Brady.
That's what Shannon Sharp said. Nobody wants to make Brady mad. Nobody wants to make Brady mad.
Yeah, you don't want to tell Tom Brady that he's not playing well. And regardless, like, right? So, and with Levante David, obviously he's not the starter of Tom Brady, but he also is a younger cat. So I can understand from that perspective how that affects him way more than a 45-year-old iconic legend.
OG.
Good, every positive.
He was a 5-star general in the Army.
Right? I couldn't see how he let his wife, and he's not an ugly dude, right? Like, he's not like he just doesn't want attention. Like, it's easy for him to navigate through football. It's the life part he's trying to figure out. And
I didn't think about it like that. That's a good perspective.
Well, thank you. If you read my article with St. Pete Callis.
Oh, my God. He said, I reiterate.
So, but no, that's just how it is. And Bruce Arians said, how come Tom Brady can't play back? Why can't he play back? Is it beneath him to play back? Because he does.
Yep.
Well, I gave you an example of Green Bay and the Kansas City game. I think Green Bay game threw 2 picks. Yep. The defense kept them in there. He can't play back, but Tom Brady don't make excuses. That's what separates him from a lot.
That is the one thing he won't do. He'll be like, I played bad.
Mentally tough son of a bitch, boy. SOB. He does not make excuses. I love it. I love it for him. And I hope they have much success. Just not against my Browns.
Just not against the Browns. Unbiased. Unbiased. And Cleveland Browns, man, go ahead and let this guy write for you, man. Let him go out there and write for you guys. He wants to cover the Browns. You can do both.
I can do both, and I think I can do well at both, but we'll see how it goes, and hopefully, I like it. I'm gonna be honest with you, like, writing allowed me to really tap into how mentally, not mentally tough, but how intellectual I am when having conversations and figuring out. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to, like, so I tell people, even in my writing, is that all I want to do is give you a different perspective. I don't want to change your mind per se, but if you're on one round, I'll offer you this as a counterpoint. If you want to accept it, but at least it provokes you to think about it.
Right. That's all you can ask.
Right. That's all I want. It's just to create some type of change in the way you're thinking that allow you to be more open-minded about situations as opposed to just saying this is it and you're only right. Because I'm not only right. Even as an athlete, I'm not only right. Because I know the Bucs or I know football. It doesn't make me only right. Even though back in the day with the autocratic leadership we used to endure, our coaches was always right. You know what I mean? But now, it tests you to think like, 4 plus 4 is 8, but so is 5 plus 3. 7 plus 1. You see where I'm coming from? And that's where I try to be. I try to be like, 4 plus 4 is 8 is easy. But if I tell you 5 plus 3 or 6 plus 2, I want you to see that there's more ways to get to that end goal. Yeah. It's all about, but for me, it's all about the journey. So I'm offering you another journey. For me?
Nope, I know exactly what you mean. I'm totally feeling it.
I really get deep. No,
oh Lord. And that's all you got, and that's all the stuff you're gonna get right there on St. Pete Callis with Mr. You go by you still go by Stylez as your writer on there?
Stylez G White. That's the legal name. If you want to pay me right now, it'd be Stylez G White.
Stylez G White. If you want to be entertained, that's where you got to go because this guy is full of entertainment. And how can you
and information?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
And if you want the truth, a lot of people can't handle it because
you can't handle the truth.
And that'll be Bucs fans if they lose to the Cleveland Browns because I already know I'm gonna get a message from Stylez if they lose that game. I'll be expecting it. I'm not gonna hide.
Oh, you should, because I'll be all over.
I'll be
like a chief. You hear me? Yeah, I'll be all over you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm like, oh, hi. And Stylez will break down why they lost the game while throwing his own 2 cents on why the Browns won the game. And that part's going to be fun, listening to a guy that played right here in Tampa and is a Cleveland Browns fan. So it's good to see different sides of perspective. Because like Stylez said, you got a lot of free knowledge today for those that are going to watch and listen to this. There's more than one way to get to 8. It's not just 4 plus 4. And that is something we all should think about. Stylez, I appreciate it. We've been on here for a good hour, man. It's been fun chatting. I'm not going to keep you any longer.
I'm hungry. So good to go.
Yeah, it was. This was fun. It's hardly felt like an interview. This felt like just a good conversation, sitting out and chilling. You want to put your content where they can find everything out there?
Oh yeah,
social media and all that stuff.
Right now, you know what? I'm not on Twitter, but on Instagram, I am the THEE Stylez G White. See, easy. The Stylez G. So THEE Stylez with a Z G. And if I'm on Instagram, I'm irresponsible there, but you'll love it.
You're irresponsible everywhere. What are you talking about? and you can't hide. You're such a big guy. It's not like you can hide.
I don't hide. I won't hide from it.
Just look for the guy with the extra small shirt on.
No, come on, man. I'll fit this.
The thick. I know what you're doing. You're trying to promote for the next Black Panther movie, so you can be on there. Wakanda.
Like M'Baka. Yeah. He was great. He was great. He said a little, but he said a lot. If that makes sense.
Yo, it makes sense.
He said not all lines, but what he said was powerful. It was impactful. So I need to get there. I want to talk to Ryan Coogler, try to get him to get on do something for me.
Yeah, we did. We're gonna make a clip of this and put it out there. Put my man on there. Definitely put him on there. Don't cheat, my man. Let him get a. What'd you say, Monty? Give me a fair shot.
That's what I want. Opportunity. That's all I need. Yeah. So all right. Well, I appreciate you having me on, my friend.
Oh, yeah, we got to do this more often, man. It's definitely fun catching up to you and looking forward to seeing you in the future.
All right.
And if the Bucks lose, I always do. If the Bucks end up losing to the Browns, this is how we're all going to feel right here.
Yeah, okay. Whatever. Fuck this bullshit.
Never gets old. Well, this as we always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Thank you guys. God bless, and as always,